And I'm going to start with, I don't know, intros. Let's see. All right, let's start with our lovely tech person since I made a mistake already.
What?
Doing a
Why
great
you always
job.
gotta pick on me?
Yes, I am. Because I want to.
Fair enough. I am Isabitz. Here I am playing Beatrix Dupree, the apprentice assassin for hire. I am a shapechanger. You can also find me on Wednesdays here at Shadows of Nox, either on the YouTube as the Red Ranger for Power Rangers, or on Twitch on alternating Wednesdays for Power Ranger Centurion as the Blue Ranger.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Am I forgetting anything?
No. That covers it. Okay, so next on the list we have John. Go, John.
Hi, hello. My name is John Blair. I am here playing the very handsome, very four-legged, very muscular Eden, the Centaur, the acolyte of nature's revenge. You can catch me on the Shadows of Nox doing many things such as Power Rangers every Wednesday, whether it be the podcast or Power Ranger Centurion, where I play two different Pink Rangers. You can catch me here, and you can catch me perhaps somewhere else in the future at some point in time, bending the elements, if that ever happens. We will find out. But yeah, I'm here. I'm happy.
Excellent. All right. Since I'm continuing in the clockwise direction as I see things, next in line is Kit.
Oh no, not me. I'm Kit. I show up in random places in Shadows Nox, a couple other sets. Nowhere consistently, because why would I be consistent? I'm playing the Owlkin necromancer Janak Silvertalon, and I've had a bad day at work, so I'm ready to cause harm to people. Let's do it.
Excellent. And last for the players, we have our wonderful Lottie.
Oh, it's me, Lottie West. You can find me on socials at Lottie West on all of the major platforms, except for X, because I don't give a
Because
about. Because I hate Elon Musk.
that's fair.
Anyways, because he's yucky, and
Yucky.
yeah, no, he's yucky. He is. That's the only way I can describe him. To my own proclivities. Anyways, I am here on Shadows and Nox on a few different things. I do the podcast, the Power Rangers podcast, where I'm Cecily Adwell, Blue Ranger, that is a Rennie and has pet chickens and likes to wear weird clothes. And I'm also in Call of Cthulhu, where I play Dr. Priscilla Benn, who is an Australian archaeologist. You could call her the Queen of the Desert. And if you're interested in never playing games with me, I am the marketing director for BCon, which is a LARP convention here in the Chicagoland area that's in late September. And there's going to be a lot of cool games. I actually wrote one of the games that's up for consideration. So if you're ever like, wow, I really like the way that she plays, maybe she's a good writer, you could find out, because I wrote some cool characters that are pretty gay and pretty sad. And it's a game called Whispering Pages that you'll probably cry a lot during, and that's pretty much my goal. Yeah, but I'm super excited to be playing Irmagard Waise, a little goblin that's obsessed with beauty. And yeah, let's rock and roll.
Excellent. All right, so I should have gone first since I'm the GM, but I'm going to go last because I can. I'm Grim. I'm the host here tonight. Hopefully you have fun watching me deal with a bunch of crazy people since their characters are all evil. I signed up for this, and I am super excited. You can catch me in the Power Rangers games here on Shadows of Nox. I'll be joining the podcast in Season 3 once that goes up. And I'm playing the Red Ranger for Centurion Ridge. starting in a few weeks, a little less than 3 at this point, I will be returning to Luke's G Variety to play Lucky in Fallout, and I'm looking forward to it on the 22nd. So, yeah, this will be fun. All right. Now, I like to do this to help jog players' memories on any of my other games. Who remembers what happened last time?
I believe we sort of
I killed a
split
guy.
up. Yeah, the girls
Pretty.
killed somebody.
Yeah, she deserved it by being pretty, and that's all I have to say about that. And yeah, I stole her beauty, and then I got drunk, so that was pretty cool.
We do have a drunk
It
goblin.
doesn't take a lot to get a tiny goblin. Yeah, it doesn't take a lot to get her drunk because she is like 3.5 feet tall.
We learned that there is a hero in the city searching for us, but he does not think we're there. We learned that some big heroes known as the Son of the Father. I think I don't remember.
Sword of
Some
the
sort
Father.
of dragon.
Father.
Sword of the Father and the Shield of the Father. These dragonkin are coming to the city soon, and we're thinking about ditching. Thinking about skipping town, but not before we do some evil deeds.
No, you gotta do evil.
Gotta do the evil.
Gotta.
Gotta earn that street cred with the devil. I don't know exactly who we're getting cred with exactly, but somebody evil.
Right. So the group of you have met up back at the base. If I remember correctly, someone had a plan. So I would like for that person to introduce the plan to the group.
All right, that's me. Okay. And as we're all sitting there, if I remember correctly, we were basically waiting for nighttime, if I remember right. But that was time ago, which means who knows.
I believe that was what was going on. You have a little bit of time before nighttime if you want to discuss your plans.
Yeah. Well, clearly we need to leave the city. I have no desire to be here once the sword arrives. We're not quite ready to deal with him, but I don't think we should leave without leaving maybe a few gifts behind.
What
We
are you
did-
suggesting?
Oh. Little this, little that, start a border conflict or two, that sort of thing. We already know that the refugees were pushed away from the Rokugan border. They've been kicked out, etc. Driven away and are now in the city. Rokugan's rather well known for blood magic, and when someone's well known for things, it makes them rather easy to frame for things. They're already building up troops in case of Rokugan aggression, so I say maybe we tip that over the scale, and when the sword arrives, he'll be too busy dealing with the border conflict to worry about where we scurried off. Fairly certain between me and you, Eden, we could whip up some sort of blood curse or disease that we could infect the refugees with. And I'm sure the ladies would be more than capable of sabotaging any capable medical response in the city.
Sounds like fun.
I do believe I could find the supplies. I do believe I could find the supplies to perhaps create some sort of poison that we could infect the people with.
Well, then, it seems like we're all in agreement. Let's get to work.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't
Yep.
Beatrix have something she wanted to do?
Yes. I wanted to go pay a little nightly visit to the I want to say his name is The Rock, but I know that's incorrect.
Wasn't it
He's
something
the grizzled
Mall?
mauler. The grizzled
Thank
grizzled
you.
mauler.
That's it.
The rock is not close to the grizzled mall. It's not even
It's
kind
close.
of close.
I feel like I need to change that half orc to like a poorly edited
It's totally
picture
close.
of the rock with
It's
green
kind of
skin.
close.
I love that.
But yes, I want to go maybe visit him. I want to find out where he lives. Does he have a family? Anything that we can exploit if we need to. Just kind of a reconnaissance, keep an eye on him.
I am also interested in this Mauler character. I'm interested to see their abilities and their strength.
Potentially get more
And to
information.
crush him.
I mean, if we scout around and we find out where they're keeping their
Ooh.
supplies, it would be a shame if their stash of healing items burned down.
Whatever method you wish to use to
I
sabotage
mean,
them,
we
I'm
could
perfectly
potentially try to get all of the healers into the
fine. Burn the
storage
supplies, burn the
before we
healers,
burned
and
it down.
makes no real difference to me.
I like that idea.
I mean, presumably you wouldn't be able to trick all of them into the same storage. Then again, I don't know how many there are.
Irmgard, dear, would you care to go with me to spy on fuck, what is his name? The Boulder? I know that's not right. I can't ever remember his name.
The boulder.
The boulder does not appreciate being called the rock.
All right. At some point, since you're going to be editing this, I'm going to find a picture of the rock, paint it this terrible shade of green, so it's a terrible edit. Then you're just going to have to post it up just every time you make the mistake.
Fair enough.
A rock of shame.
I have no shame about this.
I can accompany you to tail this hero if you wish, yes.
So, in order to make the disease, Eden and Janak have to work together. You have, based on your knowledge, you have your anywhere from 2 to 3 days before the sword is set to arrive. So, what we're going to do here is, depending on what you want to do, we're going to set a couple of goals, and then I'm going to set you against some static target number conflicts for you to be able to get your goals. As long as you meet those goals within a certain number of rolls, you can get everything you want done before he shows up. I'm not telling you how many rolls you have, but I will tell you the static TNs. Did any of you recall, if you had a chance to read the book, on how a conflict actually works?
First to 3.
Correct. What I will do is set some TNs. You have to have 3 successes in order to be able to complete that conflict. Rather than have you do an opposed roll, which is normally how it works, I'm giving you a set number before it's considered a failure, to ease you kind of into how it works. With the way a conflict works is you can roll any given skill. All right. To complete when you're completing a conflict, you can use each skill once. So, for example, if you're trying to stealthily get information, you can only use your stealth skill once. Then you have to figure out another skill to either, for example, use rapport to talk your way into getting information, something like that. One of the example stunts in the book, which you may want to look at for those of you who don't have your full set of stunts, is you can in a conflict, if you have the right stunt, for a fate point, use a specific skill a second time during conflicts. Might be something to consider. You may want to hold off on doing that for now, depending on how this goes. So right now we have a couple of conflicts that we're going to have to resolve. One is going to be spying on the Grizzled Mauler. The second one is creating the blood plague. And the third one is killing the healers, or at least crippling enough of the healers that they don't have a proper response. You could fit one more. I'll allow you to fit up to one more in there. Just realize that's more chances for you to fail to potentially get caught.
I mean, see how our current stuff goes, and then see if we want to try and push for another.
Maybe
Excellent.
something to it.
All right, so now bear in mind each character. When you do a conflict, I'm going to let you pick which characters are involved in the conflict, but you can't. A character cannot be involved in two that are happening at the same time. So if Eden is helping with the spying, he cannot help create the blood magic, which can push back your timeline.
Well, yeah, if I'm needed for the blood curse, then I can help with that. The blood plague, I can help with that. Although I do, I mean, like, if Beatrix does get good intel on the hero, perhaps after we create the blood plague, Eden can intercept the hero at some point with the help of his intel and fight him. But we'll see what happens with that.
It's true. Combat is actually a little different from a conflict, because a conflict is how you resolve
everything that isn't
basically-
combat.
right, everything that isn't combat, where failure has a negative effect.
Gotcha.
Now you do, like I said, you do have time. Anything you do with this first set of conflicts is tonight. You have, at the very least, tomorrow in the clear, and potentially the day after. You think you'd be cutting it close for one more day, so you can kind of spread out what you're going to do.
I'm thinking, like, to create this blood plague, we would need to maybe get some supplies for that, or I'm not really sure how creating a blood plague works in this context.
In this case, first thing we would be doing really is whether we have to get more things is up to the GM, which would probably, but it doesn't sound like he's making us do separate conflicts for like supplies and all of that, since he's easing us in here. So it's more along the lines of we tell him what we're trying to do, and then tell him what's the first skill we're going to try and use, and then start making rolls.
Correct.
Since this is a magical thing,
would that make sense to start doing now, or would that make sense to start doing to do later?
I'd say it first, so we have time to spread it amongst people.
Nah, good idea. Okay then, in that case, where are my dice at?
The dice are actually on your character sheet when you roll a skill. So, first thing we're looking at here is one of you would need to roll. Now, since you're doing essentially a team up on a conflict, when one of you uses a given skill, that skill is used up for the entire conflict. You can pitch me almost any skill you think might come in handy.
Sure.
So feel free to get creative.
Oh, obviously, Magecraft. I feel like would have a big part in this. Creating some sort of magical blood plague.
Right?
Magical magic. I'd say
Or
lore
even-
would make sense to me.
Yeah.
As one of the
Yeah,
next
lore. I
skills.
was looking at lore also.
And then I, weirdly enough, even have the craft skill.
Oh, perfect. Well, that's great because I don't.
Yeah, the craft is useful. You can get creative. I'm gonna point this one out for one that you could potentially use if you feel that it's important. You could potentially, while it's not normally part of what the skill does, you could pitch physique, because you know how the body works, because you're healthy.
Oh, yes. Okay. Well, great.
It's not normally how it works. Now um, you have a certain number of rolls. Again, I'm not going to tell you. So you can choose to make some rolls to create advantages for the actual process, but that takes up the number of rolls you have before I consider it a failure. So you're it's kind of a guessing game for you guys instead of doing the opposed rolls.
Right. Well, I say go ahead. Let's go ahead and get started. Do you want to start us off with Magecraft there, Ethan? Seems like the first one to go through.
I would say Magecraft is probably the first. I'm worried about blowing my Magecraft roll though, even though it's one of my highest skills.
Without what, Grim, are you gonna let us know what all of the TNs in are ahead of time, or just the one we're rolling?
All right, so for this, because I'm not making it super difficult, but it is still difficult, the TNs are 2. It's not super high for your skills that are great, but you can still fail. But it's not easy either.
All right, well, let's just go with it. Why not? That's
look at
4.
That?
That's
4. Right.
Four.
That beats the requirement of 2. So you have 1 success towards creating the blood, the blood disease.
Incredible.
Yeah, as you chant nonsense while in the woods. I don't know.
You mogwai fight out.
Outlaw star nonsense. Anyways, I can't remember, what's the threshold for an exceptional?
I don't remember. Let me look.
Because he did beat it by 2.
Pretty sure it's more than 2.
Oh, that's why I'm asking.
Consult the texts.
Succeed with style. Roll higher than your opposition by 3 or more shifts.
All right.
Yep, he was just short.
Yeah. All right, then I don't mind. I'll take the next roll, and I will try and craft. We're literally trying to craft a thing. So I also chant ominously into whatever it is we're doing. Boop. I also get a 4.
Excellent. Now, one of the things about a conflict, which I didn't give John the option, but I'll give you both the option now to adjust your rolls. If you get a great success, it counts as 2 successes towards completing the conflict. So, you can choose to spend a fate point to increase one of your rolls to a 6. And that would actually get you to the requirement of 3 total successes.
Okay, and these rolls you said we can only do per thing, right? So like if I wanted to use Magecraft again later, I could, but like now I can't use it again, right?
On this specific thing.
Right, you cannot use it for this conflict. But if you get into another one later, you can use Magecraft then.
I think I'm gonna take the risk and just just roll another skill.
I mean, yeah, your lore is pretty good.
Yeah, I was gonna say the lore is good and my physique is good. So, since you mentioned physique, figure maybe I just do that one in case it doesn't go through. If not, I still have lore to kind of lean back on. So I will do that.
Normally, physique isn't a skill you would use for this, but since I'm being very freeform on it, if you can pitch it to me in a way that makes sense, I'll allow it. In this particular case, physique, knowing the body, etc.
Yeah, I would say maybe I would know a good entry point into the body in order for us to administer our blood plague to the person, and that it would spread through their
Bone
Your
marrow.
bloodstream quickly and efficiently. Let's try that.
All right.
No. Oh, well, okay.
That's still a 2. That still
That is
meets
still
the
a
TN.
2. It does in fact meet the TN. So while the guys are busy brewing up this blood plague, what are the ladies up to?
Planting ominously in the wood. Thank you.
What should I? I'm sober by now, right? We've discussed.
Yeah, you.
that.
I will let you be sober for this.
You
yes.
get drunk quick and you get sober quick. That's the balance.
Yes. Did
Heck
you
yeah.
want to
Goblins.
try to like hide somewhere, maybe like in the woods
Yeah,
or whatever?
I'm short and tiny, and I'm
so
good
we
at
can spy on the
spying.
guy.
Who knows? You might even kill
Yes,
another person on the way there.
Maybe.
Who could
Might be-
say?
Yeah, your drunken nap, by the way, has also meant that your good looks have faded away.
Sad.
You're still cute.
I know I'm
doesn't-
not.
She doesn't want to be cute. She wants to be beautiful.
Yeah, I want to be the most gorgeous goblin that's ever walked the planet.
She
Goblin's
said,
top
"Call me
model.
hot, not pretty."
Actually, I don't even want to be a goblin. Yeah.
That's right. If I
Not
remember right,
pretty.
if I remember right with your backstory, it's elves that you're like. Those were the best thing ever. Do I
Yeah,
remember that
elves
right?
are really hot, and I am not an elf. I'm like the opposite of an elf. So, still have pointy ears though.
You can
I've
take
at
pride
least
in-
got that going for me.
All right, since you've seen kind of how a conflict works, let's how do you want to approach spying on this orcish hero?
Can I use a stealth roll? I have a 5.
should
So we both have 5s. We're both
absolutely-
gonna kill him.
You should absolutely do a stealth roll. Only one of you gets to do it, though.
Do you want me to do it? Or do you want to do it?
All right,
Big
so
points. Big points.
indeed, the TN was 2. You beat it by 4, so that will count as 2 successes
Oh,
since
wait,
Irmgard
I
is
got
so
a
good at
girl.
being sneaky.
Hiding in the shadows.
I'm not really sure what I want to use. I'm not sure what I want to maybe do. Maybe notice.
I mean, so you've snuck out into the area where he lives. You can use notice. That's not an issue.
Would I be able to use deceive to kind of
Maybe burglary. Good?
use that to talk to him?
Yeah. No, that'll work just fine. You don't have to. If you can be creative with the skill that you have in a way that makes sense, I will let you use almost any skill. I'm going to reward cleverness.
I kind of want to do that. I kind of want to use deceive to talk my way in, so that I can kind of look around his house. Okay.
Ooh.
I mean, I don't see why not. Okay. I'll allow it. Go ahead. You got a 1. Do you have any potentially aspects that might be able to help you out with deceiving somebody?
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I am.
You got a friend in me.
I mean, I am a shapeshifter, so like I could use that. But I'm also a
I
assassin.
mean,
So
you've
I'm
got a
used
real
to,
easy
like,
excuse for
deceiving
this.
people. Um,
You're probably thinking way too hard.
yeah, I kind of want to do You've Got a Friend in Me because I'm just so sweet and friendly looking and innocent. And I am just basically coming off as, oh, Mr. Big Strong Hero, I've heard that there might be villains in town and I'm just so afraid. And I know I shouldn't come by your house. I know it's rude, but I just need some reassurance that we're safe.
Yeah, I'll allow it. So don't forget to spend the fate point. You can press the little plus button where it says fate point actions. All right, and you have succeeded in convincing him. You have come by to uh, receive reassurance about the villains, find out more about what's going on. He is not the sharpest tool in the shed, but he is very confident. And now that you're up close with him and had a chance to talk to him face to face, you get the feeling he is very dangerous with that hammer that he's got, well, like 10 of in his house. And yeah, you can't stay very long though, because apparently his wife is like, "Who are you talking to?"
Are there any kids or anything, or is it just the wife?
Oh, oh.
As far as you could tell, it's just the wife.
Is his wife
Yes.
pretty?
Is she pretty?
You haven't seen her.
Do you think that she would be into a horseman?
I don't think that's where he was going with that.
I was not, but I'll take it.
I think it was.
Why not?
If you keep talking to him, you know she'll show up, but that would necessitate another roll. Like, keep him talking, because it looks like he's trying to end the conversation before she comes out.
Okay, I don't want to do that.
You can always try to see if you can spot her yourself without her coming out.
Okay.
Or it's also the option to see if Lottie sees her. See if Irmgard notices something. Because Irmgard is
Could I
with you.
do-
Oh yeah. Yeah. How about that?
Yeah, could I do a little? Could I do like what kind of roll? An investigate roll? Mine's really bad, but
Investigate. Investigate would work. Notice might work. I'll give you this one since I gave the guys one. Burglary also involves casing a joint.
well, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do burglary.
Oh jeez.
Damn.
Apparently she's on fire today.
Apparently, Irmagard.
So, Irmagard, his wife is not pretty at all. No, like
No.
she doesn't remind you of you, but she's definitely got something on him. If he looks like he's like no, like I'm trying to no, like he's trying to end it. But you do, however, notice that there are kids sleeping in one of the back rooms.
Okay.
So he's got 3 of them.
3 kids.
Yep.
Is there a way I can convey that message to Beatrix? in a stealthy way.
If you want to keep pushing your luck, or you can leave now and discuss it later.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave. Because I just scored 2 really high things. I got as much information as I want. And wife is ugly. Lottie loves orcs, so if she's an orc, she's probably beautiful to me. But
Oh yeah, she is definitely a half orc. She has had better days.
my favorite. I love half orcs. I think they're beautiful. Anyway, Irmagard is going to traipse away into the shadows where she belongs and wait for Beatrix.
I think Beatrix is just going to try to end the conversation before the wife comes out, and just thank you so much for talking to me and reassuring me and making me
Yeah,
feel
he
better.
did confirm that they expect the father to arrive in the evening the day after tomorrow.
Okay.
He also tells you that he's got things in hand, and he would love to reassure you later, where he can show you his big hammer.
Okay.
Ew.
She is just going to smile and say that she is looking forward to that, and maybe set something up for later.
Okay, so the two of you leave successfully after Beatrix is like, "Oh, your wife is coming," and he turns around, and then you disappear.
Yes.
After a successful evening, after a successful evening of achieving goals, what's the group doing now?
I say we ransom his children.
Ooh, great idea.
Well, he did show some interest in perhaps meeting me later, so
Corner him with your sensuality, and then we attack him when he is at his weakest. Pants around his ankles. Pants. Humans.
The correct response to that is bipeds.
Bipeds.
True, there are more than just humans.
Yeah, we only have one human. No, it's like we only have one human in our little squad.
that's true. Just me, sometimes. I mean, we could. I could try to set up a meet with him and get him alone, and
I
where all
guess.
of you are waiting, and we could try to
I guess I could
kill
do it.
him because that's one less.
Hello, mate.
I
hero.
mean, well,
in the
okay.
town.
My follow-up question would be, if we do, in fact, attempt to kill the hero, right? Would that proctor a quicker response from the sword? Would people come here? Like, would that,
There is a
really.
there is a good chance that the death of a hero will cause other heroes to come here. And since he's already on his way, there's a good chance he'll actually abandon his travel plans and try and get here as fast as possible.
Right. So I feel like if we do kill him, it should be like the last thing we do before we leave town.
Definitely.
I'm thinking you have the intel on him, so we can start spreading the blood disease. Get that infected. You guys can maybe start working on the destruction
Sabotage.
of the sabotage of the nurses and hospitals, and then maybe on our way out. What the heck is?
What?
Attack the man.
You guys can still hear me, right?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lost video, but we can
It's
see.
just
We
the
can hear
picture
you.
of you before taking-
Yeah. No, I'll try and fix it.
Okay. Are you gonna turn your camera back on, or are you gonna leave it off? Okay, that's fine.
Hey,
Hooray.
it has been resolved. Yes, well, me and Eden worked so very hard on this through the night, so we should probably start spreading it about. I was planning to start with refugees.
Yeah, sure.
Don't care about have a direct connection to Rokugan, or at least what we're assuming is most likely.
We're not in Rokugan, right? We're in the U.S.
We're in the Martin
You're
Federation.
in Martin Federation, which is the U.S. wannabe country that I created.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is the largest city near the border to this area of Rokugan.
Correct.
Yeah, and these people came from a village that was even closer to the border before the weird nonsense murdered so many people and they had to run away.
Cool.
All right, I adjusted it so you can look at the world map whenever you need to. It's going to be up in the upper left corner. You can click the world map button to take a look at it. I don't have an icon for the party. I'll have to pick one. But for right now, what I will do is I will drop Janak's picture because his is...
Why?
The cutest?
No, if you... That's not the updated token, but if you hover over it, it would put the updated one up in the corner.
I don't know why I didn't update the token. I'll fix it.
It's fine.
the
No,
other
it's
one's
fine. Put
there.
the stupid bird there. It's great. Even better. But I have a spooky one.
But I love cute.
Yeah, and the things that you love get stabbed. So
It's adorable, and you should keep that one forever. Fine.
yeah,
I mean, if you want, I can use the glasses owl as the party token.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just teasing.
it's fine.
All right. So should we start rolling for how to give this to the people? Is that a thing that we should do? Is that what our next plan is? Or do we have to go to that area of the town and then figure out a way to blood curse?
Oh, I'm pretty sure you figured out as part of creating it how to spread it. So,
Yeah, this is at this point just role playing. How are we specifically choosing to do so? And if we want to get special about it, he might make us do rolls.
Okay.
I was just gonna start, talking to the
Yeah.
group of people I had already established a relationship with.
Yeah, would you say we have a vial of this stuff?
we probably have a small cauldron's worth. So there's more than just a couple of doses.
Right.
Yeah, so
Since you're planning on starting a plague, that's supposed to spread quickly, not slowly, you probably made a fairly large batch.
that makes sense to me.
Should I hit a different area if you're going to go to the area of the refugees? Should I go somewhere else?
That makes sense. You're quite a bit faster than me, so you could probably hit the wells for the city.
I think I would be opposed to administering it in any sort of natural way. Do you know what I'm saying?
You consider
I wouldn't
wells natural?
But it's water. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I would be against poisoning water.
Yeah, but how else are you planning to spread it? Are you just because whatever
I don't know,
vector you're giving it to is either natural or unnatural at that point.
I guess.
What about taverns?
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Go for it.
You could
Big property.
go in and spike the
You,
ale that people are drinking.
since this is afternoon, the four of you can work together to spread the. If you want to cast as wide a net as possible, the four of you can work together to spread the disease.
Well, I think they're going to be focusing on
The sabotage.
the
Alright,
hospital.
Yeah, but part of sabotage can be, poison the healers.
Oh yeah, okay. I like the idea of the tavern thing.
Oh,
What you got?
What would we be able to maybe douse their healing potion stash with the plague?
Healing
pretty
potions
messed
are
up.
a thing.
I like the vibe. I like the vibe. Ooh.
Little bit of food coloring.
Well,
Yeah, we can
healing
make it- we can-
potions. Healing potions aren't like an end-all, be-all, fix everything. They're used as part of medical care. Essentially, they're the equivalent of like what we would use is like, oh, you've got an injury here. This will help ease the pain and accelerate your natural healing process. They're not like, drink this potion and that wound goes away yesterday.
Or, I mean, maybe we can just find a way to infect the healers themselves so they're too sick to be able to help other people, and they're...
I'm completely fine with them being infected or their supplies, etc. Or both. No reason to stop. So I do have to ask, is this we keep saying like healers, is this clerics and the like, since this is D&D-esque?
There are non-magical healers. So like there are alchemists out there that use the potions, and they specialize in using potions to help treat wounds, and they set bones. So like they'd be referred to as like a pharmacist or a bone setter or something like that. They use like bandages and other things. And then you have like straight up clerics who use magic to heal, but those are in the Martin Federation, those are more actual healers that use magic are more rare. And they're generally either part of the church or part of the military.
I think we need to hit the ones that can actually do the healing.
Yeah, pharmacists are going to be the more common ones. Pharmacists and bone setters, etc.
Oh.
All right. So, well, the two girls think. I know Janak was planning on poisoning the refugees. Eden, you're planning on hitting up taverns? Was that your plan?
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that.
Hit up taverns and brothels where you don't necessarily have a good rapport with the workers?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. And are you ladies planning on, like, what kind of healers are you planning on hitting? Because you can hit both.
Yeah, because they can actually like. Yeah, that's a great idea. And I can sneak in and like put things in places too. Like I'm not a good talker, you're a good talker. So if you need to like distract people and then I can like, just fill up things, that works too.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and wrap all of this up into. We're gonna wrap this up into a single conflict for everybody.
Yay.
Because we're doing multiple things all at once, I'm gonna increase the number of successes required from 3, we'll say, to 5. So it's a little more difficult. We're still gonna set that T in at 2, but that means that between the 4 of you, you have to figure out who's using what skill to spread this around. Let's start with since he has the easiest way to go about it. Let's start with Janik. How are you spreading your share of the disease?
Since I'm, going around talking to the people I know and glad handing and probably getting too close to communal cook pots for the refugees and such like that, I feel like rapport would be a good one as I kind of ingratiate myself, shake hands, slip things in places, things like that.
All right. Go ahead and let's go ahead and roll that rapport.
All right.
Forget your target number is 2, so this is a little difficult.
2. Hey.
That puts you at 4.
It
Again,
does.
you have that option to pump that up to a 6, which will get you that necessary 5 threshold to count as 2 successes.
Which I will go ahead and do. I will spend for double talk is king, as I'm, glad handing and schmoozing my way through and talking a good game, and I don't mean a lick of it.
Excellent. All right. So he's starting you off strong with 2 successes. The refugees are tightly packed, and there are also like merchants who come here because this is a cheap place to stay to sell like their less valuable goods before moving on to some of the other markets. So you've got a pretty good way to spread. Who wants to go next? Okay, how are you spreading the disease?
You sound so happy about it.
Before I say that, I have a question for Irmagard.
Yeah.
Do you think we should go after the clerics first, or do you think we should go after the magical healers first, or the non-magical healers first?
I think we should go non-magical healers first because it could be very suspicious if all the clerics all of a sudden disappear and people might go on like some kind of down or get suspicious.
This is all kind of happening simultaneously. So you're all kind of moving about the
totally.
city, delivering the diseases. So how are you going about spreading the disease? Are you killing the clerics, or in the case of Irmgard, are you hitting the pharmacist? Like who are you hitting up?
My idea was to hit the pharmacist, and since I'm tiny and sneaky, I was gonna sneak and like try to switch out bottles and fuck around with stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
Then I will do the clerics.
Excellent. All right.
Since it's a new thing, can I use stealth again?
Yes, this is a new conflict. You can use stealth.
Would I be able to use my sneak attack, or do I have to use?
No, the sneak attack unfortunately wouldn't apply here. So you'd have to use a skill, which you can use fight. And
yeah, when it's challenges like this, it's technically an overcome action. So if you had any stunts that applied to those kind of things, you could. But sneak attack specifically for trying to do murders.
Okay.
It's specifically for combat, not for conflicts. But Irmgard is going strong. She's brought another 5 to the table. Look at that.
Yeah. Killing it.
I'm gonna roll fight.
I believe in you.
You just need a 2.
Hey, that's more than 2.
We got
That's
that 4.
double what you needed.
All right, Eden. How are you spreading? Somebody's already used rapport, so that skill is out.
That's fine. Okay. I think I might. Okay. I was thinking I could either maybe use physique or maybe athletics to. Okay, wait, stop. My original idea was maybe use magecraft somehow to yeah, mage hand it in while I'm talking to somebody. My other idea was maybe I do go back to the idea of just like hitting wells or like drinking, like communal drink, like wells.
I mean,
Yes.
you can hit. If you were planning on hitting bars, you can always try to. Levitation is a very basic mage thing, so you could levitate the stuff and try to poison a bunch of like barrels of ale and stuff.
Or
Yes.
maybe
That's a great idea.
magecraft to like charm some critters to, you know. Just...
Ooh, I like that. I like the charming of critters to
Yeah, just-
administer the poison to people.
Here, little rat
That's great.
friend.
I absolutely, actually, I really like that.
All right.
I like that idea. My other idea was maybe just using athletics to like really quickly run around town and just drop shit into wells and stuff. But I like the administering it through.
Get some tiny animals to
Tiny
spread the
animals to
disease
do
for
that.
you.
This critter,
Yeah, you are
can charm
you
this
are in
critter.
fact a nature mage, a druid, for those who are D&D inclined. So speaking to animals and getting them to assist you with tasks is not outside of your wheelhouse. It is something you are specifically able to do.
That's a success, if I believe.
It is.
If I remember correctly, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I think we-
6 is.
Six.
Yep.
You needed 5 in order to succeed. If you had hit 8, then something good would have happened. But 6 is enough.
Oh well.
So between the 4 of you over the course of the afternoon, you managed to murder some clerics or cripple them, poison pharmacist supplies, get a bunch of people sick through use of animal delivery vectors, and spread the disease amongst merchants and refugees. It should, because how widespread you've thrown this out, it should spread fairly quickly. I'm assuming that you have made some sort of antidote for yourselves.
I mean, it seems real silly not to have done that. Inoculation and such.
Guard wouldn't have thought of that, but then she also is not the brains of the operation.
It's okay. At one point, the mages just demand some of your blood. Don't ask questions.
Yeah. So you have roughly a day before the Sword of the Father shows up. You have tonight, essentially, and tomorrow afternoon, if you want to flee before he arrives. So what do you want to do?
Do we want to try to get the guy alone and kill him and then leave?
I want to try and kill this guy, dude. I really like. I just think that's like, this is our first town. There's this hero running around, being cocky, throwing his hammer everywhere. You know what I mean? I feel like we got
No hero left behind. It sounds like the group wants to do a murder.
It does, in fact.
Guess what that means?
So I
Beatrix.
guess I'm gonna try to get him, reach out and try to get him alone. But okay, my question is, where are we doing this? Are we like, am I taking him to an?
I would imagine I would like some place that has like foliage that I could possibly use to I could possibly use to like contain him. Do you know what I mean? Or like use it to like
Probably. Yeah, outside of the walls would probably be the best bet. That way we can just leave afterwards.
Also maybe a less likelihood of like people seeing it, you know what I mean? Perhaps one of these one of these areas out past the walls that are like, in the fields.
That makes sense to me.
There are plenty of wheat fields around here, and those are pretty tall.
So yeah, I guess I'm gonna reach out and entice him to follow me out of town.
It's not hard. He's more than willing to sleep around on his wife.
Awesome.
Nice. What a charmer.
Who's the real villain here?
What a hero.
We just plagued a city. To be clear.
I don't know. Infidelity seems a little more egregious than poisoning an entire population.
Hey man, if that's your line, good to know.
Damn it, I love my wife.
So, yeah, I will put on my, I'm trying to think the right word for this, my most seductive smile, I suppose, and lead him to the field.
Okay. All right. I was not expecting you to bring him out to a cornfield, so I don't have anything prepared to give you any visual clues. But it's cornfield, so there's rows upon rows upon rows upon rows. Actually, it's a wheat field, so there's rows upon rows of wheat. If you're ambushing him, those of you who are actually hiding nearby, I will need stealth from you. The rest of you, you'll either be out in the open or you'll need to be far away and run in once the girls actually jump him. So,
okay, I was thinking, like, do we see outside of these walls how there's like smaller like settlements, like with buildings and such, like where Isabeth's thing is right now?
Right. So there are buildings outside of the walls.
I was
and
thinking
there are
like,
farmhouses scattered about in some of the.
Right. I was thinking about maybe leading him to like something like that rather than just like out in the open.
I mean, I think there's more witnesses where the buildings are than just middle of a random wheat field.
Right, but I don't have any stealth.
I mean, you could be
Whatever.
far
I
enough
do.
away. You could be far enough away where you could still see, but you're not like.
Okay, plan.
Pretend to be a
Plan.
horse.
I start off the stealth thing. Yeah, you just horse it up, and then I start off, and by the time that I've already started the initial stabbing, you can run out and finish the job.
So, okay, my question is,
Your
it's
question
not really
is?
bad. It's gonna sound really bad, but when do you want to do the stabbing? Like, just like immediately? Do you? I mean, like,
I would feel like you want to get him like maybe like comfortable first,
okay,
and then
gotcha.
you know what I mean, and then
Yeah.
like,
Okay, no worries.
and then have his guard down.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Now,
I
one
get
of the
this.
other things you can do, Eden can pretend to be like a farmhand out in the fields working.
Oh, what would that? Would
He's
would
no
that still
good.
be stealth, or would I be like
No.
deceive? I can't do that either.
You can use any skill, even if you don't have any points in it. It just means that you're, at the mercy of the dice roll.
I know. I'm aware.
That's what he's afraid of.
Yeah, that's
You just
true.
gotta-
Unfortunately,
always
we
go for
can't.
it.
Point if you want to like bump it up.
Also,
No.
unfortunately, we can't always do the thing we're best at.
Yeah. Now,
Nope.
one of the benefits is you do have, luckily for you, you do have an aspect that is, allows you to be good at pretending at least.
Ooh,
'Cause don't forget about your aspects. Those do things for you. You also don't have any stunts, so there's also the possibility if you've got a stunt in mind, might be useful. I don't think you want to use a stunt for this, but
no.
you've got some open spots to be able to make adjustments as need be.
There's also, fun options like, if you're concerned about using a skill you're good at, you could make yourself a hole in the ground with Magecraft and have like a little hidden hidey hole using, plants as camouflage. To sink into the earth and have the plants writhe above you.
It's a great idea. You guys
Yeah,
are so
there.
smart.
I want to encourage you to be creative.
My
So-
creativity is: do I have to do a stealth roll if I'm flying
I
above
want to do a
on
stealth
silent
and
wings?
just go. I want to be
Yeah,
like,
well, let's
climbing
start off with the stealth rolls. Let's just see where people go. I will go last.
All right, so
Damn.
Oh,
Irmagard failed at being stealthy.
Irmagard is at a 2.
Hold-
That's not necessarily
hold
a
on.
failure.
Yeah, it's gonna be opposed by the Mauler's notice.
And I mean, he is
He's-
very distracted. I can make sure he's very distracted. Oh, maybe not that distracted.
I mean, he
Is
is
that a
on the
god?
lookout for villains. Anyway, now one of the things that you can do here is Irmagard still has the option to be able to spend fate points to increase the roll. Now, I do want to let you know I have fate points also. I have a number of fate points equal to the number of flares.
So you have more fate points than we do.
do it. I want to use
Not
the stealth
collectively.
The fate points.
Okay.
I want to use the fate point. So I'm gonna click on the plus.
Which
On the fate
aspect are
point
you
action?
invoking for that? Which aspect are you
I just
invoking?
got rid of. Sorry, I just got rid of my sheet by accident. Aspect. Can I use? I take what I want. Takes what she wants. And I want to kill him.
Uh,
I don't know.
Or if you're
Uh,
I
because
don't,
you're
I don't really see that one working.
would you be able to
Okay,
use the fact
okay,
that she's
that's
just
fine.
like a small
Fine.
goblin, she can like hide.
That is something she can use. The
like-
fact that she's a goblin, and that is part of her high
I'm a
concept.
killer goblin. I'm a killer goblin.
Yes. So you can use your high concept for that. You can do so. I'll allow it. He's not
I
looking to
just
spend a
pressed the
fate point for
plus.
this. Yeah, under the fate point actions. All right. We can skip. We can skip Beatrix since Beatrix is out in the open. And Janak, you said you're flying.
Yeah, I might as well use these wings for something. So I'll make a roll if you'd like, but I'm attempting to be above, and hopefully he's not looking up.
I mean, he's kind of distracted, so no, he's not looking up.
I would be very offended
guess-
if he was.
No, he's very distracted. He's of the opinion he's about to have some fun.
I will use my magecraft to make the wheat around me taller so that I am hidden.
So it's tall enough to get over your tall ass.
So wheat mouflage, gotcha.
Wheat mouflage, yes.
Oh God, that's terrible.
The wheat mouflage is a success. I like to imagine like there's just like this one area of the wheat that is taller than the rest of it. That's just like moving along with my body as I'm like kind of pacing back and forth.
It's moving in just such a way it looks like the wheat around it is just like blowing
Just
in the wind.
blowing in the wind. Yeah. Yeah.
Jeez.
All right. Well, who is going to actually initiate this particular combat?
I mean, who better than the person closest to him?
Physically and possibly emotionally, depending on how his relationship with his wife is actually going.
I mean, I can try to facilitate it so that he is in a better spot for Irmgard to come up behind him.
All right, so what you can do in this particular case, when you make a roll, you have essentially 3 options. The first one is overcome, so if you're trying to overcome an obstacle. The second one is to create an advantage, which create an advantage, you essentially create a temporary aspect that can be used for or against a particular enemy. And the last one is you can actually use it to attack, and some skills give you the option to defend, which those are both part of the actual combat. In this particular case, if you're setting up Irmgard, you can create an advantage.
Okay.
Like, pants around his ankles, for example.
I mean, I had a different idea, but yeah, something like that.
I just need to know
Nice.
which skill you're using to be able to do that.
Is this the same as like our things that we were doing earlier? Like we can't use skills that we've already used?
No,
we're
this
not
is
doing.
different.
Yeah, this is different. What she's doing is she's setting up during combat. When your turn comes up, you have the option to be able to attack, overcome an obstacle, or create an advantage.
Okay.
And then the conflicts are a little different because the conflicts you're essentially just overcoming an obstacle over and over and over again until somebody reaches the desired number of successes.
Yeah, in combat you can spam the same thing over and over again if you want.
Yeah, you can just, a warrior can just keep using fight as many times as they want.
Cool.
And
Now, the
whatever
rolls are all opposed, so
whatever skill I use, that's not the skill that Irmagard has to use, right?
no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
I
the
was
way...
also like,
Oh, go ahead.
because we're out in a field, my plan was to like maybe use the wheat or the foliage to kind of like wrap around his limbs and like stop him from being able to move, and then like he's like a sitting duck, right?
You can use that to create an advantage, so other people can use it. Now, one of the things that I do need to advise you is this particular field, this scene, because each scene you're in has its own set of aspects. One of them is obviously, wheat field. The other one is isolated because you chose a spot away from people. So you can use those to your advantage, or you can use those to hinder him as part of the whole thing. Those are just like present in the scene because of where you are.
Did you say skill or aspect to create an advantage? I'm sorry.
You'd use its skill.
It's skill. Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Um,
Almost everything dice roll related is using skills first,
okay.
and then you use aspects to adjust those
Okay.
aspects and skills.
Okay. So I don't know what
Sorry.
skill that I want to use for this. So my idea was to convince him to, because she's not very tall, right? So he's probably way taller than she is. So my thought was to make him get on his knees and then put his face in her chest. So he is absolutely focused on something else and not looking for Irmagard to come up behind him and stab him.
Well, I mean, you're a shapeshifter. You can be as tall as you want.
Yeah, I know, but I want to make him get down so that Irmagard's a little, because she's little and she doesn't have as far to jump to like slice his throat.
There's
Fair
a couple ways you could go about that. Probably the most directly fitting one would probably be the provoke skill.
That's what I thought.
Either provoke or deceive.
Ooh, I'm actually gonna use deceive because I have more points in it.
That makes sense.
Do I have to roll? I have to roll, right?
Yes, you do have to
I
roll.
got a 3.
All right, and that's going to be opposed by his notice, which isn't great, but you know, he has a chance. He did do well before.
Oh God.
We'll see.
Oh, okay.
He's got a 0. So,
We love to see it.
what are you going to name this advantage you've created with him like on his knees with his face in your chest?
Bosom buddies.
That one.
Okay. All right. Now, normally an advantage comes with a free invoke. Because you succeeded by 3 or more, you actually get 2 free invokes. For this particular bosom buddies. So that is your action here. Now, what we're going to do, because there's no actual initiative in this particular game, what we're going to do is we're going to use an initiative system called Popcorn Initiative. You essentially get to pick who gets to go next. Once that person's turn is over, they get to pick who gets to go next. Bear in mind, your enemies have to be chosen at some point. So if you front load yourselves, there's a good chance the enemies will go last and then front load themselves in the next round. So you got to keep that in mind. It's true, he is by himself. But that means that if you wait to give him an action at the end of the turn, he can go twice.
I have a question. So I created an advantage for Irmgard. If I pick somebody else, can they also do something to create an advantage? Can we all create advantages and then let Irmgard go and she can take advantage of all of them at once?
The way it technically works is that when you create an advantage, you get the invoke for free, and an aspect is created that anyone can use.
Yeah.
In situations where it makes sense, a character can pass their free invokes to someone else. So in this case, you're specifically trying to set Irmagard up, so you'd be giving her the free +2s.
Okay.
Or rerolls, depending on which is more effective.
Yeah, depending on which one's more appropriate, because you can use it to reroll. None of you rolled low enough for me to be like, you should probably reroll that.
Okay.
Technically speaking, you can stack as many aspects as you can justify in a thing.
Because like what I was thinking is if that works that way, then I can like pick either Janak or Eden to go next. They can do something to set up another advantage, and then like the next person can set up an advantage, and then Irmagard, and then
this is an ambush. So yes, you can you totally have that option.
Okay. If that's okay with everybody else, then I was gonna pick Eden to go next to do his thing, and then but if you guys just want to go straight to the murder, I can not do that.
No, that's perfect. Fine. Here's the double extra fun thing.
Mhm.
Since you got 2 free invokes, and you're trying to set other people up, you can give, say, 1 to Irmagard and 1 to Eden to make it so they have an easier time setting up their advantage.
Oh, then yes, I would like to do that.
Okay. All right. Eden, you've been chosen next with the popcorns. What are you up to?
Okay, okay. I would like to, can I like use my can I use my magecraft to maybe perhaps like have a stalk of wheat like wrap around his neck?
Ooh.
You can
Like,
use
maybe
the
start
wheat.
choking
What are you
him
trying to
out?
do with this? Well, if you're going to try and choke him out, that's not necessarily creating an advantage. That would be more of an attack because you're
right.
actually attacking. Now, you can, along those lines, start wrapping wheat around his body to restrain him,
Yeah. Okay.
which can set you up to start choking him later when you're actually fighting.
Yes, I would like to do that.
Okay, I will allow it. And he's got his face and boobs, so I'll allow the free invoke there. Go ahead and roll your magecraft. This will be contested by his will.
Okay. Sure. Cool. So the free invoke that would be using one of my aspects.
No.
No,
With
you'd be using the aspect Bosom Buddies, which is the advantage that was created by Beatrix.
Okay.
Now, you don't actually do anything with it until after you roll, because if you don't need it, you don't have to spend the All right, so it's opposed by 4. His will's not bad, but it's not great. It's a 1. So you beat him by 3 or more. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Which means you get to also create an aspect that affects the Grizzled Mauler. That has 2 free invokes on it, actually.
Okay. So I get to create something now that is
Yep.
a advantage to someone else.
It's an aspect that you're putting on the person. The aspect is technically helpful to you or anyone who can justify using it. Like you're basically adding a new aspect to something. In this case, probably something like restrained or all tied up or
Yeah. How about wheat strained?
I'll allow it. You get the 2 free
No,
invokes.
don't encourage this.
You do get 2 free invokes. You can choose to do the same thing Isabeth did and pass some of those along. And then you get to pick who goes next. Or you can hold on to those yourself. You could pass one along and then hold on to the other one.
Who did you give the other one to?
Irmagard.
You gave it to
Irmgard.
Irmagard?
Yeah, now giving it to Irmagard is also a good thing because you're essentially trying to stack as many aspects as possible for Irmagard's opening strike.
Right. The plan is to like give her as much extra help as we possibly can. Okay,
Right.
yeah, then I'll give her I'll toss one of my
And
one
you
of
still
my
have
invokes.
Janak, who is, I'm assuming, going next. If you're continuing along this path of stack.
Yeah, if that's the way we're rolling with it. Yeah, sure. I'll have Janak go next.
Do you want to hold on to that second free invoke, or do you want to pass it on to him?
The thing I'm about to do wouldn't benefit from him being restrained.
Okay, then I'll keep it.
All right. Excellent. All right.
All right. Well, I'm floating above just watching this thing happen, and I'm going to go with what's probably going to become my standard first thing as often as possible. And let's go ahead and make an aspect skeleton minions. Let's just get them down out in there. So I'm gonna drop some bones down and raise some friends.
Okay. That would be a magecraft.
Yep. Boop 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 boop.
It's going to be opposed by his notice to see if he even notices them coming up. There's nothing he can really do to stop you, but if he notices you doing it, then that may cause some other issues down the road.
Yeah, you can fling a rock into them while they're forming. I don't know.
Well, that just means that he might have other things.
No, he's very, very distracted at the moment.
He is very, very distracted.
He's too busy thinking about the tits in his face and the fact that she's
Yeah, no.
getting real kinky real fast.
Yeah.
Down.
He didn't ask any questions.
That is bad.
He was just like, "All right, let's do this."
He was like,
Maybe
yeah.
he should have asked first.
Yeah, he's down bad, dude. He is down bad.
He is so ready
to
to
this
put his
guy.
hammer to use, and it's not getting used.
Right, and that beats by 6, so I'm pretty sure I get the 2 invokes as well.
Yes.
And I will gladly pass one of them on to Irmagard so Skeleton can be extra distracting and pull attention right before she does the stab or something like that.
Or they can grab him and restrain him some more.
Right. And I will, of course, now pass it to our hopefully incredibly powerful goblin
friend,
stabbing
come
machine.
on.
Okay.
Oh my god, okay. I feel like there's so much pressure on me right now. I want to cry.
It's
There
fun. You're basically
is.
getting effectively a +6 to whatever you roll.
Yeah, which the higher your roll is, the better, because the higher you roll, the more chances you have of putting consequences on him, and that's a good thing for you, giving him consequences.
Okay. Well, I was gonna roll fight. I only have a 2 in it. To like do a slice and stab.
Now, here's a good
was the-
chance for you to be able to pick up another stunt, because you have 2 more you get for free. We can give you something that's similar to Beatrix's stunt, or actually something that's a little different. One of the things you can do is one of your stunts can be a skill substitution. Instead of using fight, you can
Ooh.
use stealth for your first attack when you're attacking from a hidden position.
I love that. I love it. That would be so good because my stealth is obviously my highest roll.
Yeah,
Do I have to come
and
up with one more thing?
you're apparently good at using skill substitutions here, because that's your second one, stunt wise. But
Yeah,
skill
that's kinda my
substitutions are a
thing,
valid
yeah.
way. They're a valid way to be able to shore up your weaknesses. And since you can only use it from a hidden position, you don't actually have to use a fate point for it, because it's really, really situational.
Cool. I was thinking I could call it like, oh my god, Irmagard? Like Irmagard?
Suddenly, Irmagard.
Suddenly Irmagard.
I was
like,
just gonna call it surprise.
yeah. Surprise! Okay. Playing skill.
Oh yeah, no, I've got it. It should be called Irmagard. Surprise!
Perfect. Can I will it show up if I refresh my thing? Sorry.
It'll take it a second, but it will show up. But if you close it out, open it back up, it'll show up in just a second. It takes it a minute because it adds it to the stunt database. Because I can just add stunts to the database. But we know what it does. So what you're gonna do is go ahead and roll your stealth.
Yes. Let's go. I'm so nervous. Oh,
I believe in you.
That starts at a 6. Now you have 3 free invokes. Under free actions, you can just hit that plus 3 times.
it's a 10.
No, it should be
You
one
only
more.
hit it twice, though.
I thought I had it 3 times. Sorry.
Yeah, if you look where
Oh.
it says stealth, next to it, it'll show
Oh.
your name, right? And then the number of free invokes. Now, you can use one of your own aspects to give yourself another one to bump that up.
I think now would be a good time for takes what she wants, right?
Takes what I want, and I want to kill this
She wants to
guy.
take his life, yeah.
I'm gonna take his
This one's
life.
not going to be
This-
free, though, so you would have to spend under fate point actions to hit that plus 2.
I mean,
That's a
14,
14.
baby.
That's a big number.
Yeah.
And
it
he
is.
gets to roll his defense now, though.
before
It's
you
true,
roll
he does.
Before you roll that, my Foundry is being weird. I'm gonna refresh it real quick.
Okay.
only just because I have the dice roller up, and I want to make sure that it. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, that's a big number to start with. He is going to use the catch-all skill for defending against a melee attack, which is athletics. And he's actually not bad at it. He's got a 3.
I'm
Right, so that's 11 shifts.
That is 11 shifts. So, I want you to take a look at your character sheets for me real quick.
Yes.
Every major NPC you face, heroes are all considered major NPCs, have the same tracks you have in terms of damage. They have the 2 basic for physical stress, mental stress, which are adjusted based on their will and physique. Then they have consequences. He's got to absorb 11 points of consequences. Well, 11 points of stress and or consequences. Whew. I'm going to go ahead and just give him a severe consequence of stabbed in the kidney. I'm just going to call it stabbed in the kidney because that seems like it's both painful and bloody.
Disgusting. We love it. I just imagine she like jumped up with like the like terrifying little giggle.
Just psychotic giggling from a goblin out of nowhere.
Yeah, the the worst. She's a freak, but it's fun.
So, okay, can I ask a question?
Sure.
So, I have a number next to my severe consequences, which is 6.
Yeah.
That's how many shifts a severe consequence can absorb.
Okay.
He has to absorb 11.
Gotcha.
So, what I'm doing here is I'm going to go ahead and have him, because he has a decent amount of physique. He is a soldier. In fact, you know what? In order to shift that up a little bit, what I'm going to do is use one of my own fate points. I'm going to use one of my own fate points here and use his hardened soldier aspect to remove the number of shifts I have to take, reduce it by 2. I'm still going to take stab in the kidney, but that means I only have to absorb 3 more, which I'm going to mark it under his physical stress. I'm just going to mark his 3 box. Now, he stabbed in the kidney as a consequence. You, as a group, can now invoke that in your own favor to give yourself pluses, because he basically has a mortal wound where he has been stabbed by Tiny Goblin. And since he's the last one in the round who hasn't taken a turn, it's his turn. And he's going to try and hit the goblin with his hammer.
But he's constrained.
Yeah, that's just an aspect which you can use to help.
You mean he doesn't have to roll might to get out of the grapple?
All right. Let's do something then. He gets 2 turns anyway.
Do whatever you want to do. I was being a little salty there. That's all. That's just being salty.
Well, he does have to get up. And there's a lot of things working against him. So yeah, let's use his physique. He's going to try and overcome everything that's working against him. That's a 2. Let's since he's trying to actually get free from the wheat strains, let's let you let's see, if I remember correctly, overcomes are still opposed, right?
Yes, I'm just trying to remember if they're opposed anew or if it's based on the original roll. I think it's a new roll every time.
Over here, I just want to say Great job on attempting to murder this guy, you guys. I think we're doing pretty good.
I mean, that's a hell of a first hit.
Yeah.
Okay. According to what I'm looking at, it should be rerolled anew. I'm gonna double check the rules when I'm not taking up our time to confirm that. So that may change later on. So let's go ahead and get a magecraft roll from our horseman.
Of course, a horse.
4.
Yep. Even if I use an aspect to get him up to 4, you can just use the free one you still have to keep him restrained. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and activate one of his aspects to get that to be a tie, which will let him essentially move forward. He's got an aspect called Maul Through It All. So he wants to swing his hammer, and he's going to do it anyway.
Can I adjust my roll to combat that or no?
You can.
That's using up one of my free actions, or can I use like a fate point?
You have the one free one left on your restraints.
Is that the +1 or the free invoke?
It's the free invoke. The +1 is situational things that I provide. All right, so you still have him restrained. He didn't get a chance to overcome that, sadly.
And I believe I still have an invoke from the Bosom buddies, right?
You do. But you don't need to do anything more than beat him in this particular case.
Right. I just wanted to keep track in my head of like what I still have at my disposal.
All right. Yeah, he's going to try it again. He's going to go and popcorn to himself for the next round.
Ooh.
It's a 3. All right, let's get a magecraft going, sir.
Yes.
Well, it's a 3. You came up with the same result twice. He will succeed in this particular case since you're tied. But his entire turn is spent breaking out of the restraints.
Okay.
You do still have the option to use that free invoke of Bosom Buddies if you don't want him to be able to break free.
I almost want to keep it just in case. If he's spending his turn breaking free, he's not really causing any harm just yet. I don't know.
No, he is not.
I'd like to keep it just in case if something else happens.
Fair enough. I'm going to popcorn it over to the tiny goblin. He is free. He has a giant hammer in his hands, and he's angry and bleeding and just big angry orc right in front of you.
Well, I want to try to stab him again. But just gonna use fight, I guess. That's what I've got.
Yes, you can use fight.
Okie doke.
You said there are other
Right.
things that we can do in this situation other than attack, right? We can like
Yeah,
create
right. Creating advantages is something you can do during. You did that during your first round as your turn. Was you created the advantage by restraining him to be able to use that to assist Irmgard with that big strike.
right.
So you don't necessarily need to fight. Irmgard could create an advantage for somebody else with the appropriate skill.
Could I use like deceive to trick him into like maybe using his hammer and we can like kind of disable the hammer?
Disabling the hammer, not so much, but you could distract him.
Okay.
Because he's got titties on one side and tiny stabby goblin on the other.
Cool. Can I try
Or-
deceive then?
And I still
Could
have
you
my daggers.
could you burglary his hammer away?
Joke.
I feel like
don't
it's too heavy for me.
You're right, probably.
I mean, the
My
head of the
deceive
hammer is
starts-
bigger than her torso.
Yeah, I'm gonna do deceive and try to trick him. Try to distract him.
Fair enough.
Why are you not clicking? Here we go.
All right, that'll be contested by his will, and he is doing terribly tonight. He's been stabbed by you. He still wants to get laid. He doesn't know that the woman who brought him out here is part of the attack. He hasn't figured that out yet. He's not that smart. So, what do you want to? You get to create an aspect, and you beat him by more than 3, so it gets 2 free invokes. What do you want to call it?
Nailing the hammer.
Nailing the hammer. All right. And who do you want to pass to? You can send it to anybody but him.
Can I send it to Janak?
Yes, you can.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and try and help finish the murder that we're doing. So I'm a necromancer. I've got some skeletal minions. I feel like I should do some death magic at this man. Let's see. Let's go with I send sharpened bone daggers flinging at this extra special friend. That sounds fun. Boop. Magecraft, come on, be my friend here.
All right.
Be my
Well, he's got a stunt specifically for avoiding magic spells. So I'm going to have him roll his athletics instead of will.
Okay. I'm gonna use my free invoke I have left over from having skeletal minions there. As we'll say daggers come from multiple directions as like the ribs on some of my minions just fly out towards him from an unexpected direction.
Well, hooray. Considering you're using this to do a physical attack, normally Magecraft would cause mental stress.
I mean, I think it depends on what the effect I'm trying to go for
But
is.
you're going for a physical attack, so we're going to
Yeah.
go with the physical stress.
Yeah,
So he tries to like roll out of the way and rolls like right into some of the skeletons as their torsos explode in shards of bone. He's repositioned himself a little bit. He still looks like he's taking a defensive position to his quote unquote friend.
Oh.
Who are you
Sounds
popcorning to next?
We'll go ahead and send this over to Eden.
Okay. So so just so that I can like kind of, his severe consequence has been ticked, yeah?
Yes.
And he has how many physical stresses ticked? All of them, or just
No, he's still got some physical stress available.
Yes.
I think I want to create another. I'm thinking maybe I think I want to create something in order to help. In order to help our dear friend Beatrix maybe finish the blow. Or I can just start wailing on the guy.
Given the way combat in Fate works, there's no like measurements. What they do is it works in zones. Right now, he is essentially zone 1, which is mainly combat, and the two girls are in zone 1. You would be in either zone 2 or zone 3, and Janak is in zone 3. So you would use ranged combat to engage, either by using shoot or magecraft to use a ranged spell.
Gotcha.
Unless you want to move into zone 1 and then attack him directly.
I'll use magecraft. I will. Could I maybe summon a piece of? Could I maybe summon a piece of? Again, since I'm gonna stick with the wheat stuff here. Can I like summon a piece of stock to like wrap around his neck and like choke
Yeah, you
him?
want to choke him out? Yeah, you can do that.
I still get a. Yeah, he's good. Huh?
You don't have the free invokes anymore. You spent all of yours. He is still technically.
I don't think so.
No, he saved one.
I saved one. I saved the bosom.
You
buddy
still
one
have
because
the
I-
bosom buddies, right? And he is still technically trying to protect the bosoms.
So I can use that invoke, yeah.
Yes, you can.
Okay, it's a 5.
All right, that's gonna mark a stress box for him, as he is a piece of wheat that was on his body worms its way around his neck and starts choking him like a garrote wire. There's only one person who has not taken an action this round, and that would be Beatrix.
Can I use the aspect the kidney wound? Can I use that?
You can. It would require you to use a fate point because it doesn't have any free invokes.
That's fine.
But you can use his consequence against him.
Yeah. So I want to stab him like up in the wound, like the wound that Irmagard created. Because I'm standing there. I have one hand on his head, holding them in my tits, and I'm gonna grab my dagger and
he's
stab.
Up. He's not.
Okay.
He's not looking at you anymore. Like he's got his back to you.
Okay, then yeah, no, absolutely. I'm just gonna grab my daggers and just kind of stab up into the wound that Irmagard created.
All right, go ahead and roll your fight.
Okay. Seriously?
This is going to be... Normally he would use athletics for this, but since he doesn't think you're part of the group attacking him, this is going to be contested by his notice to see if he sees you pull a weapon on him.
Now, don't forget, he's unaware that you're a combatant against him.
This is
You
true.
get your +2 from your stunt.
I do, yes. So, do I just hit the plus button on free actions twice or just once?
Just the once.
Okay.
It gives you the +2.
Okay.
for automatically.
And then
'cause
what
he's
about the
unaware that
one?
you're an enemy?
What about the fate point that I spent to use the aspect?
Stabbed in the kidney? Yeah, you do have to spend for that one, so you'd have to click
Now,
the plus.
before
there.
you click that, you rolled -3. You can also, instead of getting a +2, you can use it to do a re-roll instead, but you take the risk on the dice.
It's true. This is one of those situations where a reroll might be better. Because you rolled almost the worst you could have.
Yeah, I want to re-roll.
So the reroll icon is the two dice symbols next, in the middle.
Yeah.
Would you look at that? That was more than a +2. So, and it automatically adjusted your roll if you didn't notice.
I did notice that, yes.
So her roll is an
So-
8 now.
Yes, her roll is an
Mhm.
8 now.
Can
and
I
this is
still
contested
use?
by his notice.
Can I still use that? Or no, because I used it to re-roll. Never mind. Don't ignore me.
Yeah, use it to reroll.
Yeah, never mind.
If you have another aspect and a fate point that you'd want to use, you can. You can use as many aspects as you can justify, just each of them only once.
I mean, I have the free invoke per session apprentice killer for hire.
You do have your free title invoke. You can use that.
Oh, so I accidentally, instead of, I think I did. Hold on. The first
No.
+2 that I added, did I use a fate point for that, or was that a free one? I can't remember.
It was supposed to be free.
I accidentally used the fate point one, so
That's fine. I can refund you the fate point.
okay. So it should be a 10, basically, because I'm gonna
Yep.
use my free invoke for my title.
Okay.
Thank you.
I went ahead and hit the button for you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So many modifiers. That's a 10, and he got a 0.
Gotta deal with 10 shifts.
Yeah, out of his physical stress, he's got 10 shifts left.
So what does
Well-
that leave? Mental, mild, and moderate?
No, he literally has between his moderate consequences, his mild consequences, and his physical stress, 10 shifts available. So he literally has nothing else. One more little push, and he is out of the fight.
Rock and roll. So we
But
kill
yeah,
him.
Almost.
No, he's currently on death's door.
Yes,
But
he's
it's-
currently on death's door.
Okay, we need to exceed.
Is there anything else that I can use to push my thing up anymore?
Do you have any fate points left?
I still have 2 fate points left, but I don't know if I used one of them. I don't know if I can use another one.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have another aspect you can
I mean,
call upon?
vengeful assassin, my high concept.
Are you using your sword?
Yeah. So I
Your
mean, a
lover's final
Yeah. So can I use both of them to just spend
You
both
can,
of my?
but you don't need to.
Oh, okay.
Just
yeah.
one pushes him over the edge.
Yeah, I'll use my lover's final gift. To
I think that's kind of fitting.
How appropriate.
um,
I didn't even get to use his really good stunt.
it won't let me add anymore. When I click the button, it tells me I'm not allowed to do that.
It's probably because I actually used one.
Okay. So it should be a 12 then, if I can do that.
Yep.
It says you don't have any fate points.
But it still says I have.
Oh, I
one
see what's
point.
going on.
The one that she accidentally used that you said you'd refund her for.
Well, it still says I have 2 up there.
Yeah, no, it's using the utility system. Go ahead and try it now.
Yes, 12. Thank you.
Excellent. I forgot the utility system keeps track of it also, not just what's on your character sheet. So you are officially at 0 according to the game,
Okay, I'm fine with that.
because it keeps better track than I do.
It also means
So-
that you murdered this man.
Yes.
You did. You stabbed him. He does not have enough to take 12 shifts. So when you stab him in the kidney, it comes out the other side. He grabs the tip of the sword, looks over, and she goes, "Well, damn," and then falls over dead.
I'm gonna pull my dagger out and wipe it on him to clean it and then put it
Ew,
back.
I love it. Gross. I love that.
You have officially killed yourselves a hero.
We should leave.
Oh, definitely,
let's go.
100%.
Get
We should leave.
outta here.
Good go. Let's go.
Can I check
Out.
his pockets for anything?
Yeah,
You
Oh,
can.
Yeah, I
Loot
want to.
him, loot
Yeah,
him,
no.
loot him.
Okay, so other than the obvious, the armor that he was wearing, which was really mostly like cheap armor. It was like a breastplate and then like a mail skirt. He was apparently like counting on the fact that he is super muscular to help him. So other than his armor and the maul, he apparently has some pick-me-up pills, if you know what I mean.
I'm so glad we
Cocaine?
killed him.
There's a
they
bag full
blue
of
in
various
color?
coins. No, they're green.
I'm taking the coin. I feel like we're owed the coin.
He's got a bag of money, so like yeah. You can leave the pills behind if you want.
I'm gonna take them.
I don't know.
You never know
Yeah,
when you might
no.
need them.
He does have like a couple of knives on him, like secondary self-defense weapons.
Ooh, for me. Be grabby, grabby.
And not much else.
That's fine.
Like he wasn't really prepared to do anything combat wise.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
I'm gonna.
Like you can tell he's not wearing, like based on the scars and things that he has, he's not wearing his full armor. Like he would normally be wearing like underneath the breastplate, like he'd be wearing like a mail shirt, and like metal greaves and possibly armored gloves. He's not wearing any of that kind of stuff. Just like super basic armor, stuff that's not going to get in the way of his quote unquote fun.
Because I looked so sweet and innocent and adorable, and I would never ever lead him to an ambush.
Like your weird group of friends, yeah.
I would like to look at the rest of the group, especially our two magic users. Is there anything that we can do to maybe frame another hero for this before we?
I was thinking about maybe using the wheat to kind of drag him underground and give him a burial. Just bury him there.
Ooh, maybe, yeah.
You could do that.
Or we have a giant dead corpse that is possible could possibly be beneficial to an army of minions.
Oh yeah.
It's true. It's just whether we've got a good place. It's like I don't really have time to strip him down for his good bones right now, considering we got to go like now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How well known are they? Like, I know Rokugan's got the whole katana thing going on. Is that well known about their nonsense, especially around here?
Yes, yeah, that is well known about their nonsense.
All right. We could maybe fake some katana wounds to make it look more like Rokugan did it instead of, us.
Us. Yeah. Yeah, I think
I
that
mean,
if
flesh
we're
crafting is something a necromancer can do on a corpse.
yeah, I think if we're
Yeah.
doing this whole, we're gonna start a civil
If
war
we're
or
framing
whatever.
Rokugan,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think
Alright,
that we should do
so-
that.
Then do that, and we could still bury him if you want. It might even help sell the ruse if it looks like they tried to do.
But maybe not too
I-
well.
Either way, I take it Magecraft to try and flesh craft me a corpse into an appropriate shape.
Yes.
Do that. Boop. Alright, that's a 3. Not too bad.
All right. This is going to. Well, it should be against the investigate for the person who's going to be looking into it, and he's not real good at that.
Yeah.
Oh, just barely.
Yeah, he's not real good at investigating, and he's the one who's gonna investigate the body. So yeah, you've sold it. It's pretty believable.
Excellent. We should get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, let's
Or
go.
bury him and then get the fuck out of here if we're gonna do that.
Yeah, I can quickly roll for some sort of
A terrible burial job.
terrible burial job. Well, it's not that bad. It's pretty good.
Well, I mean, purposefully terrible, so he gets found.
You want him to be found, so it looks like a hasty burial. And yeah, it will be noticed because you're trying to get it noticed.
We're doing such a great job at whatever it is we're doing.
We have caused a lot of chaos today. We should be proud.
It's true.
I-
We should
I-
also run
leave.
very far away.
To run
We should
the
leave.
fuck out of here.
Small ones, get on my back. We shall trot into the darkness, into the night.
It's not going to be trotting for trollops.
Run.
Not with
shall
me on his
gallop.
back.
Well, you're flying.
Galloping against gallantry.
And away into the night, never to be
Hooves
seen
against
again
heroes.
until we do this stupid shit.
Till we kill another guy.
Until you kill another guy. Congratulations, you have slain the hero, spread a blood disease, and successfully, and I say this in quotes because you won't find out until later whether or not it actually worked, framed Rokugan for all of this.
Yeah. I'm proud of us.
As the group of you
Yeah.
flee Asmoda, we head to the world map.
Oh yeah, where are we going?
I say we find a trade city.
Hmm?
Somewhere
Should we
with
go
a...
into Rokugan, or should we go?
Oh no,
further
they're gonna be
into-
so mad at
Or should we go in further into the Federation?
further into the Federation is my vote.
So should we head to our next spot? Would either be 2 or 4, which is
You don't necessarily need to go to the closest city. You can go to one farther away.
maybe this one that borders Zebrerka.
Da-da.
Um,
Uh,
did we ever decide which city in the Federation I'm from?
We did not.
Okay. Because I'm gonna vote against that city. Personally.
Now's your chance to pick.
Um. I genuinely I don't know enough about them. Whichever one the assassin family would be more prevalent in.
Probably the capital.
Okay. So yeah.
let's go to the capital. No.
I don't want to go. I'm gonna
Which
say no.
the capital is one of the closer cities. You're about equidistant from 4 different cities. Depends on how much countryside you want to travel through.
I mean,
Uh,
the
which
capital
one
would
of the
capital?
probably be okay.
It's the one with the sea, with the darker circle.
Oh, right. Next, that's okay. That's the one. Maybe this one up here. Maybe the one bordering Zamoro.
I mean, if you want to go
Which
to the
one?
capital city, that's fine. I just need to know ahead of time because I need to not look like me.
That's 3.
The whole time.
Aylford.
Ilford, which, surprise, surprise, is known for beer and other spirits.
Ooh. Well, I think we deserve a party for murder.
I have no objections. I'm sure we can find a problem to get into there.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. So the group is going to travel to Aylford, which Aylford is known for those who are familiar with the underground. This is the headquarters of the family. The underground in the Martin Federation is basically run by a bunch of different families. You know, it's kind of a mafia thing. Each one specializes in something different. In Aylford, they specialize in smuggling. They are close enough to the border of two countries and have access to waterways that are relatively hidden, what with this little inlet between Zamoro and the Martin Federation. That they could usually bring things in, and supposedly there is like a smuggler's den that they have outside of the Martin Federation that they use to sort through the various illegal goods, so it's not something that's easily found. Aylford is, as I mentioned before, known for its alcohols, wines, beers, other strong spirits. Since they're close to Zamoro, which is another country that specializes, that has a lot of different alcohols, they also tend to be the place where imports for that kind of stuff come in over a fairly regular basis. It is a place that if you want to get drunk, it'll be real easy to do. They have several, quote, harvest festivals as the various products are rolled out, either based on when they age, based on when the crop yields, or, you know, whatever other arcane method they use to go, hey, look, we're going to celebrate booze. Travel is not instantaneous. So it's going to be some time in the countryside, depending on how you want to travel. You are essentially starting out on foot, with fleeing suddenly after murdering a hero. There are little towns and villages that dot the way, so you could potentially like purchase a cart if you wanted to. It's up to you.
Sorry, I missed it. What are we doing?
Figuring out how we're gonna get there.
Yeah, I give a basic rundown of Aylford. Just a quick synopsis. They're
Smuggling. They're into smuggling.
Smuggling's there. They have tons of different quote unquote harvest festivals for basically like, hey, look, this booze is ready. Let's celebrate. Hooray. And stuff like that. So they use a lot of excuses to just celebrate booze. Now it's just figuring out how you're getting there, because, you know, you can continue on foot, but it'll take a lot longer. Well, not necessarily a lot longer, but
I think the Grizzled Mauler bought us a cart. It's my opinion. I mean, we just got that. I don't know how much it was, and if it's enough to buy a cart, but I mean, if it is, that's money that. Yeah.
Or it is. Is there? Are we able to access like a waterway? Maybe we can take like a ferry over, or.
You could. There's fishing villages along the lake to the north, so you could potentially charter a boat. You're looking at, if you continue to Aylford on foot, it'll take you about 3 weeks. Heading north, because there's heading north to the lake and then chartering a boat will probably take you roughly 2 weeks. You could get a cart and it would take you about 2 weeks also.
If we buy a cart, though, then we have it. I mean, it's
true. It depends on how you're going to haul it. Are you going to have horseman haul it, or are you going to buy a horse?
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Will he feel demeaned by that?
I feel like that's kind of demeaning.
I mean, he might want to. He might.
I'm fighting that. We can charter a boat or we can buy a cart. Doesn't really matter. Or I mean, can we like hire someone? Can we hire?
Yeah,
a cart
can we hire passage somehow? Like, can we get
instead of buying a horse and a cart?
Oh, okay. So they celebrate beer and spirits and wine and stuff. Is there maybe is this city sending any sort of supply of wheat or barley to that area that we could perhaps like stow?
You could join a trade caravan. That is entirely possible. How you join it and what for, like you could potentially pay for passage. Some trade caravans will escort travelers. Depending on what skills you want to show off, they might hire you as guards. Trade caravans, depending on the trade caravan, they sometimes will, like I said, they'll sometimes ferry people for a price. Since they're going somewhere anyway, they've hired guards. They'll let you pay a fee to travel, but their carts may not be sized for Centaur. So
Right.
Centaur may be
So-
stuck walking anyway.
It's either like we buy a cart and I carry and I like haul it, which I guess I could do.
I mean, for you, walking the distance is less troublesome than it is for everybody else.
Yeah.
You are in the best shape of the entire group.
And it would probably
Like
take
three
me
of
the
your
same way, the same amount of time, like walking there myself as it would like to take another means of travel.
Yeah, you alone could get places faster than the group as a whole. The only person who can match you in terms of speed is probably Janak, and that's because he can go in a straight line.
Light's great, but it makes me so tired.
What's slowing you down, unfortunately, in this particular case, is the fact that Janak cannot fly all day, and well, you have a tiny goblin and a tiny shape-shifting human woman.
Yeah.
And well, she can get taller, but they don't move as fast as you do. You're just naturally inclined to move faster because horses tend to move quickly.
Yeah.
Should we roll for it?
I mean, it's up to you. I'm willing to facilitate whatever. Now, depending on what you choose, does depend on what options you'll have when you get there. It'll give you a chance to make some rolls to either, like learn information, things like that. So,
I personally think the best bets are like getting a boat voyage or traveling with some group that's already on their way there that is like
Yeah. I think the
That we
merchant
could say-
caravan's the best idea.
I think so too, because we can also be like, I'm big strong centaur man, I can protect you from stuff, and this owl guy can create zombies. So
Yeah, we
I don't
don't
know if he
tell
wants
people
to-
that.
Oh.
The other thing
Necromancy
you're
is a
looking at-
crime. My existence is a crime.
the other thing you're looking at is having the caravan does kind of give you a chance to kind of blend in.
yeah, okay, I vote caravan.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's do it. Caravan time.
the Mahler's coin bag is going to cover your supplies and passage with the caravan. They're giving a discount to Horseman because he has to walk. Their caravan, their unfortunate passenger capacity isn't designed for somebody of his size. So they're just like, yeah, you just pay us this much to ensure the guards protect you. But we'll forego a lot of the other costs.
This is mostly for the small, squishy ones.
All right, so here's your chance to merchants are good for getting information. Here's your chance to kind of schmooze, find out what you want. If you've got any questions you want to ask, I may call for some dice rolls in order to get more information. But let me know what you want to know, and I will see what you learn.
I mean, my first question is how large of a caravan did we join? Like, is this a small company or is this multiple traders going together? Like, what did we join?
It's multiple traders. In fact, one of the traders who specifically in this group is somebody who's his job, he basically is like, yeah, I follow merchants to be able to go, hey, I'll pay you guys this much money to protect my cart. And then if people want to ride, they pay for a ride. He's basically a taxi service. So you're talking, there's like 4 different merchant groups that sell various wares. Some of it is like wheat and barley. At least one of them is selling textiles. Um,
I'd be after the general gossip about the various cities. Merchants always have the best gossip because they travel all over the place. What's the news?
Yeah, are there any heroes in this city that we're going to?
Question 2.
all
Do
right.
we-
As you discover heroes, and villains, I will be placing their icons on the world map. For this is the last place you heard of them, where they were either going or where they were. You know that the Sword of the Father is going to his moto where you just left. So I'm putting his icon over the city. They, of course, tell you that the Grizzled Mauler makes his home in his moda, but you all know he's dead. There are heroes pass in and out of Aylford all the time. None of them really call it home as far as they know, but there's bound to be 1 or 2 in the city almost all the time. They haven't heard of any in particular that are famous that are there.
Are there any brothels?
Oh yeah,
In Aletown, of course there's brothels.
yeah. One of the guys is like, yeah, it depends on what you're looking for. If you want to be in and out, here's the place. If you want something high class where you can spend some time, relax, get your jollies off, you get a couple of different recommendations from various guards and a couple of the merchants. They are not opposed to telling you where you can have some fun.
Nice.
Nice.
They one of the taxi driver, essentially, he tells you that he's been doing a lot more business lately than normal. A lot of people are seeking passage out west, but he doesn't want to make another trip out west because, well, he doesn't make as much money heading back this direction. So he's strictly, he's strictly traveling north and south currently.
Is there a reason he doesn't want to go out west?
Well, yeah, he doesn't make as much money when he has to head back east because he's headquartered in Ismoda.
Mm.
So like that's where his primary base of operations is. So he can't always get passengers headed back east unless they're soldiers, and well, the government doesn't pay as much as regular travelers.
Why are so many people going out west?
He's not sure. Lots of people just with his guess is probably like people fleeing because there tends to be war in the summer. Yeah, and it's getting to be like mid-spring. So he
About
thinks they're
that time of
probably
year.
yeah, so a lot of people are fleeing before things get bad, but the number of people is a lot higher than normal. A lot of the villages will generally go to one of the big cities that's nearby. Either they'll go to the capital or they'll go to Aylford. They're not normally heading out west.
Who actually is in charge of Aylford?
Who's in charge of Aylford?
Yeah, like how's the place run? Is there mayor, nobility, council? Merchants are in charge.
Yeah, it's Aelford has a lot of noble houses, and they essentially elect a governor.
Okay.
In fact, that's how most of the towns in the Martin Federate, most of the cities are run. Is there's a governor that's elected, and that person runs the city. And whenever there's a meeting of the, whenever there's a meeting required, he will go to the capital for like certain requirements, like if they're dealing with laws or things like that. But the governors primarily spend their times in their home city, and they will travel for the winter to the capital where like new policies are discussed based on the situation of the war, crops, etc. And then they travel back once winter is broken. They travel back to their city and govern. Usually, governors are elected for 5 years. Ilford happens to be one of the cities where the election happens amongst the nobles. The regular people don't get a vote. A lot of the other ones will allow like a general vote amongst the populace to pick the most popular candidates, and then from there, the most popular candidates will be voted on by the nobility. This is the only one that actually skips the whole like, let's ask the regular people.
Hmm.
Can't think of any other questions at the moment, but I'm sure I'll think of more in the future.
Well, we're getting close to our normal time where we would end things. You're traveling to
Yeah.
Aelford. This will give me a chance to set things up in the area you're going to, come up with some encounters, figure out which heroes are in the area. Because as you get closer, you'll find out more. So you'll find out like which heroes are actually there, whether or not if there are any famous ones that are there. There are. They do, however, mention that there are 3 heroes that actually call the Martin Federation home. The Sword of the Father, his sister, the Shield of the Father, and the Evoker. The Evoker is supposed to be in Zabirka. Where they don't know, but she went there recently.
Whew. Okay.
And the Shield of the Father is in the capital.
Oh, good thing we didn't go there.
Yeah, go from one sibling to the other. It's like, well, shit. Let's just go ahead and turn around.
And of course, unless something unusual happens, the Bulwark Saint is in his mage's tower, which is very, very far away.
I am okay with that.
That's the one thing you're going to be able to find the easiest is the location of the four strongest heroes are the easiest ones to keep track of.
Because they're famous.
They are, in fact, famous. They killed the Dread Necromancer some years ago after he essentially started a war with 4 different countries at the same time. Granted, his undead still roam the mountains of Zabirka and can be seen invading other countries in small, unruly groups. All right. Do we have any other questions before we wrap it up for the night?
No, I
that's
think I'm
fun. It
good.
was good to
All right. So when we meet up next time, I will confirm any heroes that are in Aylford currently, and hopefully you'll have some additional questions. Then from there, you can plan on what you want to do, where you want to go. I guess we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. This has been Being Villainous Session 2. The players have not only poisoned and diseased an entire city, they have killed a hero, congratulations, in a very one-sided fight. When it's 4 against 1, that's kind of to be expected.
I knew he wasn't going to be anything special.
I mean, in a
He's
one-on-one
loser.
fight, there's a good chance he would have beaten one of you pretty badly.
You know what though? It was he was asking for it, cheating on his wife. I'm just saying, like.
He was asking for
That's-
cheating on his wife.
That's
Again-
apparently,
Again, I have to
all of
point.
our lives. This is our line. Is infidelity.
I have to point out we at least half murdered a city with our actions,
No,
but
and
sure, that's
I agree with you on that, but had he not propositioned me, I would have just let him go about his business.
would you have?
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm just saying, throwing stones, glass houses, that whole deal.
Why would you build a house out of glass?
Pretty much the only good reason to do it is to grow things through the winter.
Seems very unnecessary.
I'm so very proud of this group. Unrepentant murderers.
We also killed the healers and poisoned the other half of the healers, and we poisoned the other half.
Yeah,
That was pretty
we I think we essentially started war between Rokugan and the Martin Federation, I believe.
You've committed war crimes. It's okay.
It was a fun adventure for us to do that.
It was.
Yeah. We did a great job.
I think it made us grow closer together as a group.
It's true. I love the part when, everybody got together and used all of their energy so that I could stab a guy as effectively as possible.
Poor guy, just stabbed in the kidney. I mean,
Yeah,
at least before he got stabbed in the
Wait.
kidney, he had a face full of poop.
Exactly. He died happy, kind
know,
of.
He went
I know
some
I
way
would've.
that people might want to.
All right.
Pretty sure he died betrayed, but okay.
Okay.
No,
Did die
big tit
betrayed,
lady
but
whose
whatever.
name I don't remember. How could you?
Well, maybe he should have asked a couple more questions before following a stranger into the wheat field.
Well, maybe the
Maybe
next
he
one.
should
True.
have. But who's to say he hasn't had trysts in the wheat field before?
Fair enough.
Anyway, that pretty much covers everything. I can't wait till we get to the next session. This has been very enjoyable. I guess we'll see you next time.